right, everybody. Welcome into Fox 35 Weather Plus. Merry Christmas Eve. Thank you for joining us today. We have a great show planned for today, and we also have a couple of newscasts coming up tonight at from 5 to 6:30, and then from 10 to 11:30 at night. That's going to be our show schedule over the next couple of days. And then, of course, we do have some specials that are running, things that you definitely don't want to miss. We all worked really hard on these specials that are going to be airing over the next couple of days. So make sure you join in on the fun and tune in whenever you can, especially if you're going to be kind of having a low-key holidays, kind of spend it with us here at Fox 35. So welcome in. We are talking all about your Christmas forecast, but first, the big story is, of course, that travel. So we'll be touching on that, taking a look at the airports if you're trying to catch that last-minute flight out of MCO, Sanford, Daytona. We'll get you set up and ready to go for all of that coming up. But then also, of course, Fox 35 Weather Plus, we have to talk about that question of the day. Let's have some fun this Christmas Eve. And of course, that being, what are your plans for this Christmas Eve is the big question. And we will give you a full forecast of what to expect over the next 2 days. So let's have some fun here. But first, again, let's start off with our question of the day. And we'll show your comments coming up a little bit later on in the show. So let's talk about that right now. Here's what we're looking at for your Christmas day at the moment for your forecast. But let's also talk about your plans of what are you up to for this Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. We'll give you a local forecast and a personalized forecast with your plans in the comments. Whether you're getting just together with family somewhere around Central Florida, heading to the theme parks, heading to the beach. Honestly, I was possibly thinking on heading to the beach yesterday, taking up everyone's Facebook comments out here right now. But definitely write in. Let's have some fun on this Christmas Eve. And any Christmas Eve traditions that you might have, also write those in the comments as well. But happy you're here today. Let's get started with your forecast, because there is a lot to talk about, genuinely. Not only are we going to be seeing possible travel impacts over the next couple of days, or even when we take a look more towards the West Coast and northern New England, we're seeing that snow out there right now there. But here in Central Florida, things are going to be pretty quiet. So if you are traveling in and out of Florida, things are looking pretty decent. So let's kind of start off with that. Lots of people traveling. I just came back from traveling yesterday and got back from seeing with family. So let's kind of just break this down and do a huge breakdown of what we can expect over the next couple of days, as lots of people are going to be hitting the roads, hitting the skies, you name it, people are going to be traveling it. So taking a look, this is what our travel forecast is looking at right now. So we're going to be seeing across the U.S. not a whole lot of delays, but there are a couple of key points. One of those key points is up near the Great Lakes, areas across Michigan, areas across Wisconsin, kind of got this little bit of a clipper system over here, and this is what's going to be tracking across New England. New England starting to see a little bit of snow. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Boston native, so I'm actually from South Shore, Massachusetts, and if anyone's familiar, Brockton, Rockland area, that's where I'm from. So we're actually just got a photo from my sister, and there's a whole little bit of snow falling in my hometown right now. So these just little bits of delays could just cause a couple of setbacks when it does come to travel. So heads up if you're planning on traveling to New England, coming back from New England, be prepared for a little bit of snow just south of Boston. But luckily that doesn't look like it's impacting the airport too much. Quite literally, it is picture perfect, crystal clear across MCO. West Coast, totally different scenario. So this is what we're keeping an eye on across the West Coast. And even as we take a look back out a little bit towards Salt Lake City, this is going to be another thing that we're going to be tracking a little bit as well. So we can see right here, these areas that we're going to be continuing to kind of track a little bit more is this low pressure system up near Seattle. This is what's kind of creating a little bit of a wintry mess up there. Doesn't look like there's too many delays, but down here especially, taking a look at the California mountains over Nevada, even over to Phoenix, they're getting rain, and they're getting a lot of that heavy rain. But again, it doesn't look like there's too many delays from San Francisco all the way down to Los Angeles and even over to Las Vegas. Doesn't even look like there's too many delays happening out there right now. But a couple of weather aspects if you are planning on traveling the next couple of days, that's what we're looking at. All right, kind of continuing the travel. Here's a look out at MCO right now. Beautiful 78 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. It is absolutely stunning out there right now. Here across our neck of the woods, it is absolutely beautiful out there, and we're going to continue to see little delays, and there are very few delays as we take a look across MCO, up near Gainesville, Daytona, even Sanford, and even down towards Melbourne. Things are going to be pretty smooth when we're talking about travel. All right, so for your Christmas Eve, as we round out the rest of the evening, again, if you are doing anything or for your Christmas plans, come hang out with us. We'll be on air from 5 to 6:30, and then we'll be back on air coming up again at 10:30. But here's what you're looking at for the rest of your Christmas Eve. Temperatures slowly going to be cooling down, and we're going to see those temperatures bottoming out tonight, lingering throughout the low 50s. So not too bad out there, but here's what it's looking like for the rest of the evening before Santa, of course, makes his visit to Central Florida. Here's what we're looking at for your Christmas Eve temperatures. Mainly clear skies. So that's the big point right here. So it doesn't look like Santa's going to be seeing any delays when he comes to us here in Central Florida. But temperatures lingering around the 50s, and there is the possibility of a little bit of fog up near Gainesville, the Villages, Ocala, higher up on the I-75 corridor as we take a look a little bit later on tomorrow. So that's what we're looking at for the rest of your Christmas Eve. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back in about 2 minutes, and we'll also take a look at what's in store for your Christmas Day, as well as for a couple of fun events that are happening here across the region. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in 2. All right, folks, welcome back again. Merry Christmas Eve. And we were talking about a little bit of fog that may start to creep in as we take a look a little bit later on tonight. So let's talk about that quick before we fully break down what's in store for your Christmas Day. It's really going to be beautiful out there. So we do have some nice weather on the way. But here's what we're looking at for that fog that we could be expecting a little bit later on tonight. Again, up really near Gainesville, Ocala is where we're going to be watching specifically. But really just kind of keeping an eye on a few things as we head through the latter part. So here's what we're looking at. Here's today at 3 p.m. And then as we do take a look here, this is our current fog forecast, but as we do take a look a little bit later on, this is when we could be seeing some fog out there as well. So here's what we're looking at probably at around 4 a.m. It doesn't look like there's any there either. I might just be using a wrong model, but let me take a look at a couple of other things. But heads up, there may definitely be a little bit of fog out there very early in the morning. But here is a view of Orange County right now. It is absolutely stunning out there. This is the Evermore Resort, and they have a stunning Christmas tree out there at the moment. So here is, for reference, it's just near Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and this is a gorgeous Christmas tree, and you can just see all the kids kind of just playing around that. That is so cute out there right now. Again, if you are just joining us, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. Here's what we're looking at for the rest of your evening. And if you would just like to pop in and say Merry Christmas in the comment section, we'll show your comments coming up a little bit later on. But here's what we're looking at for your Christmas Eve. For any church services that you might be heading to a little bit later on, temperatures sinking down into the 70s, but still warm as we head through the overnight. For setting cookies out for Santa, we're seeing those temperatures lingering right around the mid 60s and then dropping down into the low 60s, upper 50s as we take a look a little bit later on tonight. Okay, so let's talk about Christmas. We'll do an hour by hour in it right now, but here's what we're looking at the moment. So here's what we're looking at for your Christmas day. Little bit foggy. Again, may need the help of Rudolph as we're heading through the overnight tonight. But taking a look, especially if you are planning on hitting the roads early, getting that early jump on your Christmas day, it is definitely going to be a little bit on the foggy side. So just make sure you are being careful, especially if you do live by any lakes, rivers. There's probably going to be a little bit of fog out there late tonight with those clear skies and also those low winds. That's what does create that little bit of fog that may just slow you down if you are planning on getting an early jump on your Christmas morning. So taking a look, we're going to see those temperatures starting off throughout the upper 50s, low 60s, warming up into the upper 70s. So maybe the only way you'll see a white Christmas here in Florida is heading to the beach, but definitely be careful. Red flag warnings are going to be all up and down the coastline as we take a look later on tonight. Taking a look tomorrow night, we're seeing those temperatures fall back down into the upper 50s, low 60s. Very pleasant for this time of year. Really can't think of a better Christmas forecast than what we're seeing out there right now. So looking ahead, this is where we're going to be totally seeing the one Christmas is perfect, and then once we take a look at New Year's, we are possibly looking at a very chilly 2026, so heads up, especially if you do have any plans, maybe like theme park, New Year's Eve events, planning on just heading into your local downtown. It's going to be chilly. So here's what we're looking at. We'll kind of do a big picture, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit more specifics. So for New Year's Eve specifically, into New Year's Day, this is what we're looking at. For New Year's Eve, cold temperatures, we're possibly looking at the 30s and 40s, and this is a lot of events where we're going to be seeing a lot of people out and about, so you will probably need to dress very warm when we're taking a look at New Year's Eve. So heads up for that. The reason why is that we were going to be seeing a huge dip in the jet stream, and the polar vortex is going to be striking again. So here is the beginning of next week. We're going to be going through this weekend, and it's going to be absolutely stunning out there. Seeing those temperatures continuing to stay warm as we head through Christmas, and then we can see this huge dip in the jet stream right here. This is what's going to be bringing us in some frigid air as we take a look ahead to New Year's Eve. So here's Wednesday, December 31st. That cold air is settling in, and this is what's going to create a very chilly start to 2026 to us here in Florida. So heads up if you do have any New Year's Eve plans. It's going to be chilly, so it might be the cold shock that we need in order to have a very lucky 2026 going ahead. So fingers crossed. I'm kind of just trying to think positive here. That's what we're looking at, taking a look ahead. So that's what we're looking at over the next couple of days. Not too bad, but it is going to be a little bit up in the air, especially when it does come to more pinning down of how cold it's going to be, but especially once we head into New Year's Eve, once we hit the bottom of that forecast of when we see those lows, that's when we could be seeing those very, very chilly temperatures. But overall, not looking at anything too crazy over the next couple of days. It is going to be a beautiful Christmas. And then even as we do take a look a little bit later on, even into this week, as folks are probably traveling, coming back into Orlando, there's not going to be anything crazy happening. A couple of clouds moving in and out of the area. Here's tomorrow for your Christmas day. It's going to be beautiful, very similar to what we saw today, maybe an extra cloud or two, but nothing too crazy out there whatsoever. A couple of clouds moving in as we take a look at your Friday night, but it is just going to be beautiful out there. So we are going to be seeing a little bit of that cooler air really starting to tap in as we take a look at New Year's. So that's kind of like the look ahead of what we can expect over the next couple of days. So heads up for that as we look ahead towards the start of 2026. But just to kind of show you how much of a temperature drop we could be seeing, normal average high for this time of year right now is in the low 70s, so we're already warmer than what we normally see, especially for this time of year. So that's something that we're going to be definitely keeping note of for sure, as we're really kind of starting to pin down of what we could be seeing as our low temperatures, taking a look at the next couple of days. So here's kind of what we can see for just highs over the next couple of days right here. Temperatures are going to be warm. And again, highs normally for this time of year are lingering throughout the low 70s. Not too bad, but it is definitely going to be warmer than what we're probably a little bit used to. Unfortunately, I've not been able to break out any sweaters unless I was actually back home in Boston. So we are really just seeing those warm temperatures for us here in Florida. But then once we head into middle of next week, when we're starting to see that cold air really start to sink down, that's when we can see those temperatures really starting to fall and get on the cooler side. It's going to be below average. That's what models are ticking at right now, but it's not it's too far out. That's the kind of the tricky thing with weather. When things are a little bit too far out, you don't want to pin an exact temperature there quite yet, just because models are really just starting to get the possibilities in of what could happen. But that's what models are really showing, is that we could be in for a very big cool down coming up at the beginning of the year. All right, so we are going to take a quick break on our Fox Local page. Write in your comments whether you just want to say hi and Merry Christmas to all of those who are watching here on Facebook and YouTube. We will show your comments in just a few seconds, and I have some Christmas puppies here for everyone as well. So we'll show that in a few minutes. Stick with us. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. All right, everybody, welcome back again. Merry Christmas if you are just joining us on this Christmas Eve. And we were already talking about how we are here in Florida, and we're going to be seeing a warm Christmas, so just a fun little graphic. We're not expecting any snow here in Florida, so a little bit of a fun graphic that I have for you. But snow totals in Florida, we're not looking at anything. We're going to be in for beautiful sunshine, and probably the only place where you could go to see a white Christmas is at one of the beaches here in Florida, which is definitely not a bad forecast whatsoever. So let me actually pop myself up full here. And let's take a look at some of your comments. We have a lot of folks just here hanging out with us here on this Christmas Eve, and thank you again so much for that. And joining us here on this warm Christmas Eve for sure. And we have just a lot of folks that are just wanting to say hi here in the comments. So here, let's take a look at a few of those. We have Angie Maurer from Facebook saying, thank you for the weather report and very Merry Christmas to everybody. Crystal Jackson also saying that she is doing nothing, but we see another happy to see another holiday. So thanks for joining us here, Crystal. Let's also take a look at some of our YouTube comments as well. We have a couple people writing in emojis, so I don't know if we'll be able to see emojis here, but let's actually find out. Elaine Tavet is from Holbrook, Massachusetts, saying that they are having some flurries out there right now. Elaine, I don't know if you guys are having a white Christmas, but with the flurries, I think that counts, personally. I think that definitely does count for seeing at least a little bit of snow on Christmas Eve. That's a little magical, I have to say. So some holiday magic happening in South Shore, Massachusetts. William on Facebook saying he is going to church on this Christmas Eve. Good for you, William. I am here. I'm going to be covering the desk for tonight and to tomorrow as well. So tune in later on tonight where we'll be tracking Santa, talking about your Christmas Eve forecast, Christmas Day forecast. It'll be a fun time over the next couple days. William also writing, hi, Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. Merry Christmas to you as well, William. And let me see if I can change this time just a little bit. There we go. But yeah, lots of folks here on our Facebook page and our YouTube page today writing in just Merry Christmas, kind of spreading a little bit of that Christmas cheer. Isabel saying Merry Christmas from Sanford, Florida. And I do have one comment here on Facebook that I keep looking down at that's been making me laugh for the past couple of minutes. And this is John right here. We are sending the Arctic south, or we are sending the Arctic weather south. Yes, you are, John. It has been chilly up near a couple of the Appalachian Mountains, up near New England. It's going to be very chilly. Andy also saying Merry Christmas, Laurel. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to you, Andy. Bradley saying Merry Christmas in our Facebook comments. And we just have a lot of people just coming in saying hi. So thank you all again so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. So now a little bit of a Christmas gift to you. Here at Fox 35, we are doing a campaign called Spirit of the Season this year. And we are all getting together, all of the on-air talent, and producing and kind of heading up a charity where means a lot to us. And we're looking, if you are able to do so, for just a little bit of support for those charities kind of going through this holiday season. So I put in for a animal shelter that is really close to my heart. I've done with a couple of events with them earlier this year, and they are just such a sweet organization. And if you're looking for a new furry friend to kind of head into 2026 with, this may be where you can find your furry friend. So without further ado, here is the Save a Life Pet Rescue as we wrap up our forecast on this wonderful Christmas Eve. Take a look.
We are here in Oviedo at the Save a Life Pet Rescue, taking a look at some of the animals that are up for adoption here and how you can help out this organization this holiday season.
The mission of Save a Life is to save as many puppies as we can that are coming from these situations of neglect and some really cruel situations. And so we want to save every dog and give them a second chance at life.
So this is Coco we have right here. Tell me a little bit about Coco.
So Coco is a Chihuahua mix. She's between the ages of 2 to 3 years old, and she's very high energy. So she is going to need a family that likes to run, not walk, because she's active. She just needs a home for the holidays.
She does. We'll get her that home. Coco, you want to hop?
Yep. Hop, 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 hop.
Yay! Let's talk about those adoption events. So you have a space in the Oviedo Mall.
Yes.
And when are people able to come in and kind of take a look at some of the animals that are looking for a home?
Yeah, so every Friday evening and Saturday around noon we have our adoption events. They are first come, first serve, so you can come in, meet the puppies, and play with them a little bit and see if you find your forever match.
And who do we have here? So cute, so soft. Oh, just look at this face.
Yes, this one's Fantastical Frizzled.
Oh. Yeah, a little silly of a name, but oh my goodness, such a sweet dog. Wait, now tell me a little bit about Fantastical Frizzle as you nibble on my finger. Thank you.
So he is a doodle mix. Super loving, very playful, very smart dog.
You're very smart.
Yes, does well with kids, with other dogs.
Some exciting stuff with the future of Save a Life Pet Rescue. Tell me about the new plot of land that you guys have coming up in store.
Yeah, so we are so fortunate. We have about 3 acres in Sanford that is on a rent-to-own lease right now, and we are working to purchase that land fully and build a new facility, and we are hoping to double the amount of dogs that we rescue with this property, and we are extremely excited. It'll have a full adoption center, there'll be tons of room for puppies to play, and we can really make a greater impact overall.
These two. Now, donations. Of course, monetary, very helpful with this organization, but you are always looking for pet food, cleaners. What else are you guys looking for to hopefully get this holiday season?
So towels, blankets, those are things that we can always use. We always need cleaning supplies. Puppies make messes. So food and cleaning supplies, towels, blankets, anything like that is huge and a great help for us.
And if you would like to volunteer or take a look at some of the animals that are up for adoption, you can go to savealifepetrescue.org. All right, everyone, that is going to do it for our Christmas Eve edition of Fox 35 Weather Plus. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful holiday and Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a good one, and we'll be right back here tomorrow. Join us here for Christmas Day. See you later. We are here in Oviedo at the Save a Life Pet Rescue, taking a look at some of the